While other actors treated guns like stage props, Clint Eastwood transformed firearms into extensions of his characters' souls. From the dusty towns of Italy to the mean streets of San Francisco, his weapons didn't just fire bullets, they fired up entire genres and created cinema history. Today we're counting down the 7 legendary firearms that stole the movie and made Eastwood immortal. Number 7. The Agent's Silent Professional, the Sig Sauer P228 from In the Line of Fire, 1993. When Eastwood's Frank Harrigan needed a weapon that matched his worn-down Secret Service professionalism, he carried the P228 because real federal agents trusted their lives to this compact powerhouse. The P228's 9mm parabellum chambering launches a 115-grain bullet at 1,150 feet per second through its 3.9-inch barrel, delivering 338 foot-pounds of tactical precision. Weighing just 29 ounces with a 13-round magazine, this double-action semi-automatic gave Eastwood's aging agent the firepower to face a psychotic assassin while carrying the weight of past failures. In the elevator confrontation scene, Harrigan's measured draw of the P228 shows a man who understands that survival depends on split-second decisions backed by reliable tools. The weapon's compact profile allowed it to disappear under a suit jacket until the moment truth demanded its appearance. The P228 didn't just add authenticity to the thriller, it represented the evolution of law enforcement from revolvers to modern semi-automatics that real Secret Service agents carried on presidential details. Eastwood's controlled handling reveals a professional who knows that flashy guns get you killed while dependable weapons keep you breathing. Next, dual-wielding destruction. Number 6. The MP40 Submachine Gun from Where Eagles Dare, 1968. Eastwood's Lieutenant Schaffer grabbed twin MP40 submachine guns during a castle infiltration because sometimes overwhelming firepower becomes the only language enemy soldiers understand. The MP40's 9mm parabellum chambering fires 115-grain bullets at 1,250 feet per second through its 9.9-inch barrel, creating 400 foot-pounds of room-clearing devastation. Weighing 8.75 pounds with a 32-round magazine and cycling at 500 rounds per minute, this German submachine gun transformed close-quarters combat into mechanical dominance. When Schaffer dual-wields these weapons while descending the castle stairs, the sustained bursts create one of war cinema's most explosive moments, mowing down Nazi guards in a hail of 9mm fury. The distinctive sound of the MP40's blowback action became synonymous with World War II films, even though the weapon was often incorrectly called a Schmeisser by Allied soldiers. The MP40 didn't just steal its scenes through raw firepower, it demonstrated how battlefield adaptability often means using enemy weapons against them. Eastwood's instinctive handling shows a soldier who understands that survival requires mastering whatever tools the situation provides, regardless of which side manufactured them. Next, the ping heard round the world. Number 5. The M1 Garand from Gran Torino, 2008. Walt Kowalski kept his Korean War M1 Garand in the basement because some men never fully leave the battlefield. They just wait for a new war worth fighting. The M1 Garand's 30.06 Springfield chambering propels a 150-grain bullet at 2,800 feet per second through its 24-inch barrel, unleashing 2,609 foot-pounds of semi-automatic devastation. Weighing 9.5 pounds with an 8-round and block clip and capable of 40 to 50 rounds per minute, this rifle gave American infantry decisive advantages over bolt-action-equipped enemies across 2 major wars. When Walt levels the Garand at gang members threatening his Hmong neighbors, the weapon bridges 6 decades from frozen Korean hillsides to a deteriorating Detroit neighborhood, showing how warriors carry their defining tools across entire lifetimes. The iconic metallic ping of the ejecting en bloc clip echoes through the scene, a sound that soldiers who served from 1936 through Vietnam instantly recognize as the voice of American military might. The M1 Garand didn't just add historical weight to Gran Torino, It became the physical manifestation of Walt's internal struggle between the violent soldier he was and the protector he's becoming. Eastwood's patient aim with the rifle reveals a man who knows that sometimes the threat of overwhelming force prevents the need to actually use it. Before we reveal the top 4 firearms that transformed Clint Eastwood into a legend, understand that these aren't just movie props we're discussing. These are the actual weapons that professional warriors, lawmen, and frontiersmen chose when their lives hung in the balance. Each gun we're about to explore didn't just appear in great films, they shaped how entire generations understood heroism, justice, and the cost of violence. Hit that like button and subscribe, because the top 4 weapons redefined not just Eastwood's career, but the entire language of action cinema itself. Number 4. The reluctant gunfighter's burden. The Starr 1858 Army revolver from Unforgiven, 1992. When William Money emerged from peaceful retirement to hunt bounties one final time, he carried the Starr 1858, because even legendary killers grow old and their weapons show the wear. The Starr 1858's 44 caliber black powder chambering drives a 220-grain round ball at 800 feet per second through its 8-inch barrel, generating 312 foot-pounds of percussion cap fury. Weighing 3 pounds with a 6-round cylinder and featuring double-action capability rare for its Civil War era, this revolver gave soldiers faster follow-up shots than traditional single-action designs. In the film's early scenes, Money's Starr misfires repeatedly, the percussion caps failing to ignite as rust and neglect betray a man who abandoned his violent past. The weapon's malfunction steals these moments by showing audiences that legends fade, skills deteriorate, and even the most feared gunmen become vulnerable to time's erosion. When Money finally gets the revolver functioning for the film's brutal climax, each successful shot carries the weight of all those earlier failures. The Starr 1858 didn't just serve as Unforgiven's primary weapon, it became the physical embodiment of the film's central theme, that violence destroys everyone it touches, including those who wield it most effectively. Eastwood's fumbling with the temperamental revolver reveals a man who understands that returning to killing after years of peace requires overcoming not just external enemies, but the rust that accumulated on his own soul. Next, frontier vengeance multiplied. Number 3. The twin Colt Walker, 1847 revolvers from the outlaw Josie Wales, 1976. Josie Wales carried 2 Colt Walkers after Confederate bushwhackers murdered his family because ordinary revenge demands extraordinary firepower. The Colt Walker's 44 caliber black powder chambering launches a 140-grain conical bullet at 1,100 feet per second through its 9-inch barrel, creating 376 foot-pounds of devastating close-range authority. Weighing a massive 4.5 pounds each, with 6-round capacity and 60 grains of powder per chamber, these revolvers were the most powerful handguns in the world when Captain Samuel Walker and Samuel Colt designed them for the Texas Rangers in 1847. When Josie Duell wields these hand cannons during the ferry crossing ambush, their thunderous reports and thick smoke clouds create an almost supernatural aura around the character, transforming him from fugitive into avenging angel. Only 1,100 Colt Walkers were ever manufactured, making the originals incredibly rare collectors, items worth hundreds of thousands of dollars today. The twin Walkers didn't just steal scenes through raw power, they represented how frontier justice required tools capable of matching the brutality of the post-Civil War West. Texas designated the Colt Walker as the state's official handgun in 2021, recognizing its role in Texas Ranger history. Eastwood's confident handling of these heavy revolvers shows a man transformed by loss into someone who carries enough firepower to wage personal war against anyone who stands between him and survival. Next, the snake that changed Westerns. Number 2. The Colt Single-Action Army with Coiled Silver Snake Grip from the Dollars Trilogy, 1964 to 1966. The man with no name carried this distinctively customized Colt because mysterious drifters need weapons as enigmatic as their identities. The Colt Single-Action Army's 45 Colt chambering propels a 255-grain bullet at 860 feet per second through barrel lengths ranging from 4.75 to 7.5 inches, delivering 420 foot-pounds of deliberate frontier justice. Weighing 2.3 pounds with a 6-round cylinder, this single-action revolver demanded that every shot be preceded by manually cocking the hammer, forcing shooters into a rhythm of intention that separated quick-draw artists from amateur gunmen. In A Fistful of Dollars, for a few dollars more, and the good, the bad, and the ugly, this silver snake-adorned revolver became inseparable from Eastwood's squinting stare and poncho silhouette. The film's climactic cemetery duel in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly shows the weapon's dramatic potential as extreme close-ups capture the hammer slowly cocking, while Ennio Morricone's score builds unbearable tension. Sergio Leone's operatic directing style transformed every draw of this Colt into a religious ritual where life and death balanced on the edge of a trigger pull. The snake grip symbolism added layers of meaning, suggesting danger, wisdom, and the shedding of civilized constraints that frontier life demanded. The Colt Single-Action Army didn't just revitalize the dying Western genre, it created the spaghetti Western aesthetic that influenced everything from fashion to filmmaking technique. Between 1873 and 1941, Colt manufactured over 357,000 single-action Army revolvers, but none achieved the legendary status of Eastwood's snake-gripped variation. Eastwood's economical movements with this revolver reveal a character who understands that true power comes from absolute control and the willingness to use violence only when all other options have died. Number 1. The most powerful handgun in cinema. The Smith & Wesson Model 2944 Magnum from the Dirty Harry series, 1971 to 1988. Here stands the firearm that didn't just make Clint Eastwood famous, it redefined what movie guns could mean to audiences worldwide. The Smith & Wesson Model 29, introduced in 1955 as a hunting revolver, became Inspector Harry Callahan's instrument of urban justice, proving that sometimes excessive force becomes the only language criminals understand. The Model 29's 44 Magnum chambering hurls a 240-grain jacketed hollow point at 1,350 feet per second through its 6.5-inch barrel, generating a devastating 970 foot-pounds of man-stopping power that could punch through car doors and engine blocks. Weighing 47 ounces with a 6-round cylinder and featuring adjustable sights, this double-action revolver was designed for taking down deer and bears, not bank robbers in San Francisco. In the opening bank robbery scene of Dirty Harry, Callahan delivers cinema's most famous gun monologue while aiming the massive revolver at a wounded criminal, asking him if he feels lucky enough to test whether there's still one round left in the cylinder. That speech didn't just steal the scene, it launched the Model 29 into cultural immortality and created a sales explosion that Smith & Wesson couldn't satisfy for years. The weapon appears throughout all 5 Dirty Harry films, from Magnum Force in 1973 through The Dead Pool in 1988, each appearance reinforcing Callahan's reputation as a cop who operates outside normal rules, because normal rules can't stop abnormal evil. The Model 29's impracticality for police work, its excessive recoil, over-penetration risks, and limited capacity actually enhanced its mythic status by showing that Harry Callahan wasn't a normal cop carrying normal equipment. Real San Francisco police carried 38 special revolvers that held the same 6 rounds, but with a third of the power, making Harry's choice to carry Magnum hunting firepower a statement about his willingness to meet criminals with overwhelming force. The .44 Magnum cartridge, developed by Remington and Smith & Wesson in 1955, was specifically designed to be the most powerful handgun cartridge available, a title it held until the .454 Casull appeared decades later. Eastwood's steady grip, despite the weapon's punishing recoil, creates an image of unshakable authority. A man so tough that recoil that breaks other shooters' wrists barely makes him flinch. The Model 29 didn't just steal scenes through power and intimidation, it became the physical embodiment of 1970s, America's frustration with rising crime rates, and the feeling that traditional law enforcement methods weren't working. Harry Callahan's excessive firepower gave audiences a fantasy outlet for their desire to see criminals face overwhelming consequences. The gun sparked national debates about police methods and inspired countless imitators, parodies, and homages across 5 decades of action cinema. In Eastwood's hands, the Model 29 transformed from hunting tool into a symbol of individual justice operating outside bureaucratic constraints. A weapon that says some men are capable of wielding power that would corrupt lesser individuals. Clint Eastwood's legendary firearms prove that the tools a character chooses define not just their capabilities, but their entire moral universe. From the precision of the Sig to the overwhelming authority of the .44 Magnum, each weapon told stories about men navigating the line between civilization and violence, revealing that true power comes from knowing when to draw and when to holster.